Hello my friends, not good news this morning. Ukraine is under the Russian attack. This is the capital city of Ukraine, Kyiv, and this is how it looks like. A huge cloud of smoke is coming from one of the districts of the capital. Well, actually multiple of the places of Kyiv were hit by Russian, first of all, ballistic missiles, and those are very hard, if not impossible, to intercept. Impossible because Ukraine has just the limited amount of PAC-3 missiles which could be used for that kind of the interception. Here's the map, you can see it. Russia even launched Oreshnik missiles. They hit Belaya Tserkva and Kyiv itself. Well, Oreshnik is less harmful compared to the standard Russian Iskander because Iskander carries TNT, some of the payload. Oreshnik, those are just dummies. Oreshnik was designed to carry nuclear warhead. Without nuclear warhead, it's basically useless, but Russia uses that missile for their propaganda purposes, and they're capable, I think, to produce around 3 up to 4 per year. Today they launched 2 of the missiles, so they disposed 50% of what they were capable to produce the last year. And that's the difference between Ukrainian strikes and the Russian ones. The Russians hit some of the civilian infrastructure like multi-story buildings, and this is Caravan Mall, the big one in the central part of Kyiv. It doesn't exist any longer. It was hit by ballistics. An open-air market also was hit, and of course residential buildings. Obviously Russian propaganda would say that it's the Ukrainian air defense that intercepted their ballistic missiles, and that's why it penetrated this house, but it's not for the first time Russia is doing that stuff. Russia is terrorizing Ukrainian people for purpose. Russia is the terrorist country. Russia wants to force Ukrainians to disobey Ukrainian government and to force it to resign. That's their goal, that's their tactics, which they used in Chechen war, in the Syrian war, and continue to do in Ukraine. One more photo of Kyiv, there is the smoke covering entire city. And one more infrastructure was hit by Russians. It's hard to say what is that. So altogether with civilian targets, Russia sometimes hit storages, refineries, logistic supply centers, and so on. I'm not saying here that they hit just civilian buildings, no, but it's like 50-50. Russia aims towards civilian infrastructure for purpose as well. And the video is very fresh. We don't have the information what is burning there, but it could be an oil storage, could be some of the supply center mall. Well, for sure it's not a several-story building. There is no such a fire coming from those. Yeah, on this photo we may say that it's not an oil, it's I guess epicenter mall, the trading center used for construction things. It's not the usual product groceries, it's just a huge construction mall. At least the colors, they look like that one. And this is the central part of Kyiv, not far away from Lukyanovsky underground station. Several of the ballistic missiles hit local buildings. Tremendous devastation down to this place. And yeah, the mall of Caravan is basically gone. The same building, one more building was hit. Yeah, several of those. And one more video. This is crazy. Yeah, this is one of the biggest Russian attacks on the capital city of Ukraine and on Ukraine in general. You see, missile even penetrated into the underground parking spot, so yeah, it went even lower here. And one more building hit also in the Kyiv Oblast somewhere. I think it's the school building here with the stadium. And this is the legendary Russian Oreshnik. Every missile carries several of the warheads. They're being separated and they hit the ground just with kinetic energy. And what is interesting that they fly, I would say, not straight, yeah, left and right. So the precision of this thing is nothing. You know, it's kind of slow for Oreshnik, as many people mentioned, but again, we have this distant perspective. It's Oreshnik for sure, guys, because there is the separation into several of the warheads. That's how it is working. It's not the Russian Iskander or Zircon missiles, no, they are not separating with the warheads. And this is from the close perspective. As you see, this video was filmed very near to the impact itself. So several of the warheads, like there are the bunch of those warheads, right? So 6 in every row. It's kind of interesting. I thought that 6 in general, but actually they're smaller. Well, if they're equipped with nuclear warheads, of course, they would cause tremendous disaster, yeah. And it's impossible to shut down everything of that if they already started the separation, so of course only space interceptions are possible. But again, look at the precision. One goes here, the other goes to the different direction, so it's not very precise weapon that Russia has, because it was developed to be used as the nuclear weapon, not kinetic energy warhead. Basically, it's useless. Russia just wastes its money for the propaganda purposes with that Oreshnik. Iskander, I would say, is more devastating. Yeah, I already mentioned you that, but that's the reality. And one more video, kind of the low quality from the CCTV cam, showing how Oreshnik is flying there. And one more parking in Kyiv was hit, maybe even by Oreshnik, who knows. Well, they might penetrate a little bit deeper than usual warhead, but they're uncomparable to the bunker busters that American army, for example, used against nuclear facilities in Iran the last year. Oreshnik is not that heavy, and today Ukraine will publish the aftermath of those craters for sure. As the Russian propaganda likes to say, Oreshnik hits and spreads the shock wave that demolishes everything underground. It is useless, it is only possible in Indian Bollywood movies. And this is how the actual ballistic missile works from Iskander. So it flies and definitely you see the kaboom. Yeah, so something is happening because it carries TNT. Yeah, the thing that Russia just hit random areas in Kyiv, in other cities, showing the real face. Is it a surprise anymore? I don't think so, but it's like one more reminder of what Russia really is, and then they're officially presented in sports and some of the exhibitions. This is not good, guys. This is what Russia is, and Russia should be banned from absolutely everything, as well as Russians themselves. Also, Russia launched multiple of the drones. Well, for the drones, Ukraine has the tools to intercept those, but for ballistics, not, unfortunately. And one more video from Kyiv itself. There is the burning market that I showed you before, and something else is burning. Well, decision-making centers were not hurt. That is what Putin promises, I guess, every time, but avoids striking on those. I mean, president's office, parliament building, everything of that. And by the way, yesterday, the United States of America embassy issued the warning about the possible massive attack on Ukraine, on Kyiv city. And after several hours, you see there the strikes. Whether Russia warned American side about those strikes, maybe, maybe not. Anyways, United States, they have their intelligence in Russia and Putin's circle as well. The warning about the attack also was spread through the Ukrainian channels, and even if there is the strike on decision-making centers, with all of those warnings they're pretty much useless because there's not gonna be anyone inside in case of that kind of attack. Yeah, the attack happened very, very close. This one is closer. Yeah, way closer. You see, very fast. No warnings, nothing. It's not the drone that flies screaming like the moped. Here it was a cruise missile. It was the jet engine. I heard it. And yeah, the impact. Very, very fast. So yeah, one more stupid and useless Russian attack. Why is it like that? Because they hit random things. Several of the residential buildings, malls, and storages for construction malls as well. They're useless because those attacks, they're not influencing the situation on the front lines. But the Ukrainian attacks, they're on Russian logistics, Russian ammunition storages, Russian oil facilities which continue to feed Russian war machine. But Russia is in agony with those strikes. They're definitely stupid. And I see also a negative reaction from the Russian military bloggers. They're saying that those strikes are useless, especially Oreshnik, which doesn't make any sort of the damage for Ukrainians. But they're making fun of themselves, saying that there will be the report from the Russian military about 500 NATO instructors and 20 NATO generals flatlined by Oreshnik or something like that. So do you like this picture? Beautiful, but it's useless, like very stupid. Tupa means stupid, so exactly what I tell here. Russian military bloggers even are saying that Putin doesn't know what he is doing. Those attacks are not bringing Russia closer to victory. No, it's vice versa. Russia eliminates its resources, Russia is showing its face. Every of that strike just makes people to hate Russia even more. Yeah, very, very stupid. So guys, stand by for one more update today. Just wanted to keep you informed about the most recent events happening. Yes, and please don't forget to press like to this video and subscribe for the channel. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are and have a great time.